Hello everyone. If you want to improve your relationship, learn relationship hack or listen to entertaining and educating relationship stories, please subscribe, like, and share. Share your own story in the comments section below. Thank you. Comment what do you think about this situation. Caught wife cheating day before anniversary. Since posts have been removed. Short update as to what has happened since day. Then a few more details. Thanks again to everyone for the support. I spent D-Day night at friend's house. Wife goes to son's and his wife's place. Both kids know why mom was kicked out. Affair. But no details. Sat. Morning drive to cabin with dog. Stay till Monday. Go to office on Mon. And start phone calls. Bank. C. Etc. Call lawyer I use if I need for my company and he recommends divorce attorney. I call her and meet her on Thursday. She says all the right things and I hire her. I talk to my HR manager and tell her everything. Close professional friend. She recommends someone for IC and I call and make apt. Have seen her twice and it's helping. Friday. Week after D-Day son calls and says it's awkward having mom in their small apt. Is there any way she can come home? I give in. She comes back sat. But I'm on my way to cabin. Just to show much I didn't want to be around her. It was below zero the whole weekend. With night lows in the -20 to -25 range. Mon. I drive straight to office. People at work love my lab. He gets spoiled. I stay late. Go home and can't even look at her. Go watch TV in basement. She comes down and asks if we can talk about this. I tell her I'm not ready and leave me alone while she's here. Friday. HR manager asks how I'm doing. Lousy I tell her. Been sleeping on couch or recliner in basement. She suggests I buy a new bed. Great idea. I go pick one out deliveries is sat. I thought about burning old one like some have suggested. But don't want to clean up mess. Sat I go to work and wait for call that truck will be there in 30 minutes. I pick up 2 subs for delivery guys and wait for them. I tell them lunch is on me and give them each 25 if they can do me a favor. Leave old mattress up against tree next to street and come back for it at the end of their day. They look confused. But I tell them to give me 5 minutes. Before they come and they will get it. I go in. Remove bedding. Something clicks that I have to ask about. I take a can of Blaze orange spray paint that we use for marking properties we are working on and spray in big letters wife cheated in our bed on mattress. Guys follow through and leave it against tree. Wife says later. They forgot to take old one away. I tell her they are coming back for. I don't think she knows what I did. Valentine's Day she tries to be all romantic. Makes nice dinner which I don't eat. Tries to initiate intimacy. I tell her I wouldn't F her if she were the last woman on earth. She replies. We don't F we make love. I tell her we haven't made love since she decided to F her boss. Can't really describe the look on her face. She goes to kitchen trying not to cry. I figure now's as good a time as any and tell her to come in LR and sit down. I ask her what she wants to do. I know. Stupid move. Should we just divorce and move on or should we work to fix this? She tells me she's willing to do anything to fix this. To make it up to me. Not sure how she can make it up to me but I tell her needs to come clean with rest of family before we can try and fix anything. She agrees. That was the last update that was removed. 2/17 My mom dad's been gone 3 years her folks. Sister and Bill come over that night. We all sit in LR and I try to get as far away from her as possible. They start in with the, "What's wrong? We love you. It will all be okay," thinking someone is really sick. I look at her and say this story isn't going to tell itself. Her dad looks at me and I swear his eyes are saying oh no like he knows what's coming. I have to give her credit. She cries her way through and spilled her guts, including me walking in on them in our bed. After a long uncomfortable silence, she says somebody say something. I say what are they supposed to say? That you are a horrible person. That you'll hurt me worse than you know. Ripped my heart out. That you've thrown away 29 years, ruined our family. Not to mention what you two assholes have done to his family. Was the sex really that good? That it was worth all that? I just kept going. All the anger, hatred and betrayal I've been holding inside comes spilling out. I really didn't know I could be so cruel. Her mom finally says that's enough. She says that no, she deserves all of it and runs upstairs crying. Mom gets up to go after her and dad says no. Leave her alone. She needs to suffer for a while before this can get any better. We talk for a while. They offer support and say I need anything just ask. I tell I've been in IC and I think I'll be okay but appreciate it. I tell them that despite all of it, I still love her and that she going to need them more than I do. I go to bed and sleep better than I have since D-Day. Next morning before I leave I go in the guest room and can tell she didn't sleep and has been crying all night. I really think that for the first time since D-Day the enormity of what's happening has finally hit her. Telling her family and having me go off on her like I did. I think it broke her out of the affair fog. She looks like she truly showing remorse. I tell her we need to talk. More like I talk. She listens. I explain that I'm 99% leaning towards divorce. But I'm still clinging to the life raft that is 1%. That if there is to be any hope she need to do what I ask to help me get over this. She says she'll do anything. Just to please not do anything yet. I remind her of a story I told her when my dad died. When I was 17 my dad told me that you'll have hard times in life. But how you handle them says more about you than the hard times will ever do. No matter what. Never make important decisions when you are upset. At the time I was like yeah dad. Whatever. I start to cry as I say I wish he were still here so I could tell him that I really was listening. She gets up and gives me a hug. I don't hug her back. But it feels good. Which scares me. She sits back down and I tell her she needs to move out. I can't heal if I see her every day. We need to go NC. She agrees and asks me what else she can do. I tell her I'm too emotional now to think straight. I'll let her what else. On my way to work I call my lawyer and see if I can come see her today. She's free on her way to the office and we meet for coffee. I tell her what's been going on the 99-1% etc. Ask her to draw up divorce papers to get things rolling if I go that way. She suggests that if I have time and can afford it I should find my wife an apartment and pay for the first month's rent. That if it goes as far as a judge, this will show good faith on my part for an amicable split. I agree and she says she'll have something for me to look at by Monday. I get to work and call a real estate broker that we've done a lot of work for over the years. Tell him what's going on and what I need. He says he knows a good rental agent and he have him call me. He calls and says he'll start looking and get back to me. He calls back with a place that fits in price, location etc. I meet with the property manager and give him a check for the rest of February, March and deposit. When I get home I tell my wife I found her a place. What I've paid for and she has to go meet manager and sign lease. It's only a 6-month lease which is plus I guess. She says that she is surprised that I moved so quickly and I tell her that I needed her not to come home from our sons. While she is gone I call some movers and luckily it's the middle of the month and they can come Saturday. When she gets home I tell her I've done with movers and ask her why he hasn't asked about anything financial. She looks confused and told her I've cancelled credit cards. Took my half out our joint account and cancelled debit card. She seems angry about, says she doesn't blame me. Turns out she hasn't needed to spend anything. That her time spent between our sons and home, she hasn't gone anywhere or needed anything. I also find out she called her employer and asked for a leave of absence. That she was having personal issues. They let her take her paid vacation if she wanted before starting leave of absence. Friday I tell her she can take whatever she need from new place. Just leave me something and not anything from the basement and a couple of my family heirloom stuff. And my new bed. I also tell her that I'm willing to try MC. That she should find 3 different ones and I'll pick the one that I think will be the best. I leave early Sat morning and I come home to a half-empty house. Including TV. That's okay. I want bigger one anyway. My friend still has my liquor, so I stopped and picked up my favorite bourbon and have enjoyed sipping on a glass while typing this. Sorry this was so long. Thanks for reading this far. Tomorrow I'm going to the gym and I'm going to make my favorite chili and go buy a new TV. I'm sure I'll have more to post in the future.